The Diamondbacks have 53 games left. Realistically, how many can they win?
You are Locked On Diamondbacks, your daily Arizona Diamondbacks podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Locked On Diamondbacks podcast, your team every day. I am your host, Mike Valentine. I will tell you this, baseball is my religion. The Diamondbacks are my denomination, and you are my congregation. So let's get this thing going. Now, I do have another podcast that I do every Tuesday evening. It's called The Sports Truth, SPORTZ, Sports Truth. You can find us on X or at YouTube at the 643 and out guys. So 643 A and D spelled out, and then guys. 643 double play in baseball, and 3 and out like you can't get a first down in football. So what we do is we talk about college football, NFL football, and of course, my sport, Major League Baseball. I do have a passion for this sport and for this game, and even a bigger passion for this team. And I want to thank you for making Locked On Diamondbacks your first watch every day. Now let's talk about today's show. On today's show, we're going to look at how many wins do we realistically think the Diamondbacks can get over their next 53. Did they make the right decision when it comes to the division? We'll go into that in segment number 2. And then in segment number 3, there's a 40-man fallout because today, as I put on one of the shorts that I published earlier, the Diamondbacks made 6 moves before tonight's game. How is that going to affect us? Who's going to play for the people who were traded? We'll get into all of that here in just a moment. But first, this episode of the Locked On Diamondbacks podcast is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. Go to 5, that's the number 5, hourenergy.com today for the ability to use promo code LOCKEDONGOLF and receive 20% off of your order. Once again, go to 5hourenergy.com, put in code LOCKEDONGOLF, and that will get you 20% off of your first order. It's a great deal from 5-Hour Energy. So again, the Diamondbacks have 53 games left to go. And I'm asking you guys, realistically, where do you think the Diamondbacks fit in here? How many of these games do you think you can win? Or do you think they can win? But let's put some factors into play. Let's put some statistics into play. If you guys haven't figured out, this is episode number 6 for me, and I'm a big stat guy. I believe in the whole thing where it says stats don't lie. So we're going to throw out some statistics. We're going to see really what kind of team this is. And then once we get all of that into play, we'll make a guess, a educated guess on how many games we realistically think the Diamondbacks can win in their next 53. And then overall, what's that record going to look like at the end of the season? So let's look at things as far as the months go. In August, they have 12 home games and 17 away games. And then in September, they have 15 home games and only 9 away games. At home right now, they're 26 and 28. And on the road, they're 25 and 23. So obviously, just like most other teams, they're better at home than they are on the road. When you look at what their record is when you look at what their record is against teams above 500, there we go. Now I got it. They're 25 and 32. Unfortunately, here lately has not been near as good because the Diamondbacks are 2 and 8 in their last 10. They're 12 games back in the division now. They're 9 games back in the wild card. They've lost 5 in a row. Their overall record currently is 51 and 58. And I know you guys can do the math. That's 7 games under 500. And then another disturbing trend that's come on here in the last week or so. all of a sudden they're minus 12 in run differential, and they've been positive almost all the way through the beginning of this season. All of a sudden, they're minus 12. So putting all these things together, knowing everything that you know, the questions have now got to be asked. The first one, can they get to 500? 500 is kind of a benchmark. It's it's an average team. It's something that we as fans really love to see. 500 baseball, that means the Diamondbacks would have to play 30 and 23 the rest of the way. And that's to get to 81 and 81, 500 baseball. Now, I don't know if they can do that. I mean, 30 and 23 after where they're at right now, which is 51 and 58, and some would argue that they're a worse team now. Some of those being myself. You don't have Naylor anymore. You don't have Suarez anymore. You've lost Merrill Kelly. You traded away Shelby Miller. So there's 4 big cogs right there that were running the machine, right? And they've had some good runs, and they've had some bad runs, like what they are on right now. But let me give you a little hope here. They do have a good offense, and I know it's not been shown over the last couple series, but they still do have a good offense overall. And let me prove it to you by some more stats that I love to pull out and give to everybody before they start saying, no, they do not. Yes, they do. They have a good offense, and this is why. They're 6th in Major League Baseball, not in the National League, Major League Baseball. And by the way, all these statistics are what they are in Major League Baseball, not just the National League. So they're 6th in total runs, they're 5th in runs per game, and they're 5th in total bases. And believe it or not, they're 4th in on-base plus slugging. So again, either 6, 5, or 4 in baseball. That's a good offense, guys. It really is. The question is, can their offense carry them? Because that's pretty much what's going to have to happen now. You kept Merrill Kelly, 6.66 ERA, Merrill Kelly. Not Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen. That's Zach Gallen. You traded Merrill Kelly, you kept Zach Gallen at his 6.66 ERA. Will the pitching be improved with the addition of Jalen Beeks? Jalen Beeks, one of the people that they brought off of the IL today. That should improve their bullpen. And you know what? I've asked you enough questions. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this whole thing. Can they? Will they? And what's their number? Here's what I'm going to tell you. If they go 24 and 29, that'll get them to 75 wins. And if they go 27 and 26 the rest of the way in those 53 games, that'll get them to 77 wins. So that's my goal for this team right now, realistically. I made sure I threw that word in there. Not lofty, nothing, realistic. What's a realistic goal for our Arizona Diamondbacks now that they've made some of these trades and they're giving some of these kids a chance? And we'll talk about that in our final segment today, which kids will be given a chance. What do you guys think? 75, 77? Do you not think they're going to get to 75 wins? Do you think this team could overachieve and go beyond 77? Let me know in the comments. I'd be really, really interested to read what you guys have to say. Now, we're going to go to one of our sponsors. All right, and that sponsor is 5 Hour Energy. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to fuel up and turn it up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavors of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, of course, into a quick energy shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making some memories with friends, this one is a hole-in-one for your energy game. Let's be honest here. Some days, on the course or even off of it, You just need that extra little boost to make you stay sharp and energized. Let me tell you for a second about my wildest shot on a golf course, right? We're talking about golf right at the moment and, within a baseball show. So I did the Happy Gilmore thing, right? You ever done that where you're just so frustrated on the course that you just, man, just grip it, rip it, right? Grab that club and just smack that thing as hard as you can go. Well, the thing was, I was paying no attention whatsoever. I was just frustrated, and I was going to use a swing to either, cripple myself or make that ball just absolutely fly. And the ball flew. It got really close to the pin. Bounce, 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 and right up there on the green. It was within like 10 feet. Couldn't believe it. And what I'd done right before I Happy Gilmore that shot, I took myself a shot of 5-hour energy transfusion. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors, of course, too. The grape, ginger, and lime flavors give you the best part of your clubhouse without having to chase down the beverage cart. So if you go to 5, again, that's the number 5, 5hourenergy.com, you can use my promo code, LOCKEDONGolf, to receive 20% off of your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and can't be used with any other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders either. So whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energy boost that you need to get you all the way through. Order transfusion flavored 5-hour energy shots today. All right, we'll go into segment number 2. But before we do that, let me talk to you about YouTube for a second, because YouTube is a great way for all of you to get all the information that you need about your Arizona Diamondbacks from myself, Mike Valentine, your host of the Locked On Diamondbacks podcast. So do me a favor, help me out here a little bit. Join the family. Join the Diamondback faithful. Comment on what you're hearing right now. Like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so that you never miss a video, and join in on the fun with you, me, and our Arizona Diamondbacks. You can also get me on X. That is right there at the bottom of the screen, at LO_Diamondbacks. That is our X account. I'm pretty active on that. A lot of reposts, a lot of good things that we have from other sources that I'll pull into ours. And then I'll do some poll questions and some feelings and feedback on there as well. So once again, that is our YouTube channel that you're looking at right now. And then also go over to our X account at LO_Diamondbacks. All right, let's look at segment number 2, because I'm looking at this kind of based on the division. And I'm asking if the Diamondbacks did the right thing. So let's talk about the other teams in our division. First of all, let's make this one really quick. Colorado. Who cares? I mean, in this division, they don't have a chance. They're not doing anything. So we'll just Colorado and we'll just toss them off to the side and we'll be done with them, right? So, they're not a factor, nothing like that. But I will tell you that this may help us a little bit because we have 7 games with Colorado, 3 here at home, and then 4 away with them before the end of the season. That is within those 53 games. San Francisco, let's look at those guys next. They are 3 games above where the Diamondbacks are. Their record right now is 54-55. They, just like the Diamondbacks, are 2-8 in their last 10 games. And then they have actually lost their last 6 games in a row, where the Diamondbacks have lost their last 5. Now, I told you the Diamondbacks' run differential was -12. The Giants' run differential is +5. And we have 6 games with the Giants here on the Diamondbacks schedule before the end of the season. 3 at home and 3 away. So that's those 2 teams in the division there. And I want to give you a really interesting stat on the San Francisco Giants. I know this is not a San Francisco Giants show, but I think it affects us because we're all in the same division. So get this. Since the San Francisco Giants traded for Rafael Devers, they have scored 133 runs. The Diamondbacks, on the other hand, just to give you a little bit of comparison, since the same date when they got Rafael Devers, have scored 165 runs. Now, I'm going to go back to the 133 for a moment. Because remember when they got Rafi Devers and everybody was like, oh, this is going to be great. They've struck first. They're going to just run away with this division and all of that. 133 runs is the lowest run output by any team since the day they got Rafael Devers. I think it's backfired on them a little bit, but I'm okay with that because I don't like the Giants anyway. They're in our division. We're going to take over that. Yes, we are. All right, San Diego, 9 games above the Diamondbacks right now at 60-49. They're 6-4 in their last 10, and they've actually won 5 games in a row. Their run differential is plus 32. We have 6 games with the Padres, and 3 of them are coming up the first 3 games of the homestand right after we're done playing the A's. So that's going to be interesting with them. And we have the next series with them after the A's, and then believe it or not, we go to San Diego the last series of the year. So yeah, kind of a bookend here for us, and we're talking about these things right at the moment. They are only, if you look at what their record is against teams above 500, it's a paltry 24-29. So they do have some weaknesses. They're not fantastic, but we'll go through and look at them. The Los Angeles Dodgers, of course, they lead the division. They're 12 games above the Diamondbacks. 63-46 is their record. They are 5-5 in their last 10, and their run differential is plus 67. As far as where they are against teams above 500, believe it or not, the Dodgers' record against teams above 500 is 25-29. We have 6 games with them throughout the rest of the season as well, 3 home and 3 away. Let's look at what each team did during the trade deadline here really fast. The Giants sold relief pitcher Tyler Rogers. They got rid of closer Duvall as well, Camilo Duvall. And in a kind of surprise move to me, they moved Mike Yastrzemski to the Kansas City Royals. So they got worse, in my opinion. Now, when you look at the Padres made 5 trades that involved 22 players. That's just think about that for a moment. That's just amazing. 5 trades, 22 players. They added Oakland's closer, Mason Miller. They added left-handed pitcher J.P. Sears in the same trade. They also got first baseman Ryan O'Hearn and outfielder Ramon Laureano in another trade that they did with the Baltimore Orioles. They got catcher Freddie Fermin from the Royals. They also got left-handed pitcher Nestor Cortez and shortstop Jose Quintana that they're really, really high on. They got them from the Brewers trade. And then they also traded with the Blue Jays. Probably a move that nobody really knows about, but they had to get some bloodline in there because they made 5 trades and 22 people were involved. And what I mean by that is they got infielder Will Wagner. What bloodline is he? Well, he is the son of now Hall of Famer Billy Wagner. He did get sent to AAA, but he's on the cusp of being there with the team. And I'm sure if there's an injury or something like that, he's going to be the first one called up and take over for them. So the Dodgers, they got Brock Stewart from the Twins. They also got outfielder Alex Call from the Nationals. So the Dodgers didn't do a whole lot, but they're at the top of the division, and they also are pretty sure that they're going to get some of their people back that are on the IL before the end of the season too. So combining those things together, and with the money they've already spent, they didn't want to go out and spend a bunch of money, so they just made a couple smaller deals. Call will be a really good left-handed bat for them in the outfield. And then they had Brock Stewart at one time, so they liked him a lot. He's got a couple more years of control as well. So they went out and made those 2 kind of minor moves. So here's what I want to say to you. Yes and yes. Yes, the Diamondbacks made the right decision because the Padres and the Dodgers are at the top of this class. And where the Diamondbacks are right now, I don't think they could have caught either one of them. And I really don't think they can get themselves back into the wild card hunt, knowing that they're 9 games out currently. I just don't think that's a realistic possibility. So I'm glad that they sold. We've talked about that here on the show in the last week. I was a real proponent of them selling, but I want them to do the other yes. So yes, they made the right decision, but yes, I want them to leapfrog the Giants in this standing, and I want them to be the 3rd team in this division. And if they can do that, and they can get somewhere between 75 and 77 wins, I'm going to be happy with the way this season turned out for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, let's get to our second sponsor of the day, and we'll go ahead and do that right now. All right, guys. The second sponsor for us on the Locked On Diamondbacks podcast today is Gameday Hue. It's brought to you by Gameday Hue because Gameday Hue makes clean, no logo gear with team inspired colors for every pro and college fan base. It's all about letting your colors speak for you. No giant logos, just smart, versatile style that works on game day, on the course, or anything in between. Now, personally, I like game day gear because it pairs perfectly with my usual gear. It doesn't replace my team stuff. In fact, in my opinion, it enhances it. So right now, you can get 15% off with code MLB15 at their easy-to-use website, and that is GameDayHue.com. And not only will you get 15% off, but you can stack it on bundles. So the 15% off can mount and mount and mount. Lastly, let your colors talk because colors speak louder than words. On GameDayHue.com, use code MLB15 and get 15% off your order right now. All right, everyone, let me turn the page here and we will get into our final segment of the show. Thank you for being with us and sticking around here for us. We certainly appreciate it. I want to have you ask a question. I want to ask you a question, right? Would you like a broader look on the game of baseball? And if you would, and if you're thinking about it, and maybe you do, then head on over to Locked On MLB Game Night, where they watch every game so you don't have to. They'll give you just a broad perspective of everything that happened on every game. It's a nice little wrap-up show. Again, about a half hour in length, and it's a great show. Go over there and take it and give it a listen, and you'll be glad that you did. And the other thing that I want to push here right at the moment is the fact that, we love everybody on YouTube, and I appreciate you being on here with us, but that's not our only platform. We have audio-only platforms as well, like Spotify, like Apple Music, and my favorite, where I actually discovered Locked On Network and podcasting stuff many years ago, on XM satellite radio. So you can go to any of those as well and get the same great shows just in audio only. If you're riding around in the car, if you're mowing the lawn on the lawnmower, or whatever else you're doing outside, maybe you're barbecuing, you better invite me if you are, and you can still listen to us on our audio platforms. All right, so the 40-man fallout's what I'm going to call this final segment that we're doing today here on the Locked On Diamondbacks podcast. And I wanted to look at who will replace ... right? So we're going to look. Merrill Kelly, who's going to replace him? Well, here in just about an hour or so, actually it's a little less than that now. Once I'm going to publish this episode, it'll probably come out during the game tonight. From everything we're being told, Anthony DeSclafani is going to take Merrill Kelly's place in the rotation, and he will start tonight. He is 1-1 with a 3.86 ERA, but his last 3 appearances, which is something I really like to look at, he has a 0.90 ERA, 9 Ks, 2 walks only, and he's only given up 6 hits in those 3 appearances. Now, who's going to replace? Josh Naylor. Josh Naylor is going to be replaced by Tyler Locklear. He was one of the moves. If you go to YouTube and look at the short that I put out earlier, I put all 6 moves out there so you can know exactly what's going on with your Arizona Diamondbacks right now. Tyler Locklear is one of the guys that they got in the trade market just yesterday. He looks really, really good. I can't wait to start watching his at-bats. And if you're trying to get a reason to why you should continue to watch these games, I think Tyler Locklear is the reason why. Here's his numbers. In AAA this year, 316. In 98 games, he had a 316 batting average, 25 doubles, 19 home runs, 82 RBIs, only 47 walks, so he walks a lot, and 95 strikeouts. Who's going to replace Eugenio Suarez? And this one's a little bit more of a mixed bag for us here, right? Eventually, it's going to be Jordan Lawler. I'm not real high on Jordan Lawler. We'll talk about that later on in another episode. So we've got some good things to talk about here in the next week or so when we get to all of this stuff. I really want to talk about Jordan Lawler as he gets close to coming up. I can give you his timeline here in just a moment. I want to talk about why I believe they kept Zach Gallen and why that was such a smart move to do. And I really want to look at some of these young players that we just got in at the trade deadline. We'll do all those things next week here on the Locked On Diamondbacks podcast. As far as the timeline, according to John Gambagoro, I know a lot of you guys watch him on 98.7. Fantastic guy, does a lot of great stuff for that radio station. I follow him on X and everything else. Fantastic sports person here in the city of Phoenix. He is saying, and I have gotten other sources that say pretty much the same thing. So about a week until he begins his rehab, this is about Jordan Lawler, then he will be evaluated after that. And they're kind of hoping, are the Diamondbacks, that the entire timeline for him to come back will be roughly 14 to 18 days. Now, today, they also called up infielder Connell Kaiser. I hope that's how you say his name, Kaiser. So he'll be up there as well. But the guy I hope they give a lot of stuff to, I like him. He's really growing on me. I like his versatility, and I really like, man, he had an at-bat the other day on that game where he took like 9 pitches. He ended up striking out in the end, but he really impressed me with that at bat. So he is really starting to mature in my eyes, and I'd love to see what he can do if given the chance. And his name's Blaze Alexander. And of course, a guy named Blaze. You got to love that, right? So Blaze Alexander, I hope he gets a good shot here before Jordan Lawler calls up. And honestly, I hope he gets a great shot even after Lawler is called up, because I'm not a big Jordan Lawler fan, but we'll talk about that later. Lastly, who's going to close? Shelby Miller's gone. You got Beeks back. I mean, you've got Thompson, you've got Saul Frank, you got a lot of people in that bullpen. I'm just not sure who can close. The only person that we've got in the bullpen that has any closing experience whatsoever is Kendall Graveman. So that's who I'm going to vote for. Let's give the guy the ball who has the closing experience, and let's see if he can do it for our Arizona Diamondbacks. And if he can't, that's fine. We'll just hand it to somebody else. But I really do think that a closer is very important to your team. There's nothing like leading the entire way and then having a closer blow it in the 8th or the 9th inning, and you have to take the L. That's defeating. That's really deflating as well. So once again, as we wrap everything up, I certainly appreciate you all sticking with us right here on the Locked On Diamondbacks podcast, part of the Locked On network of podcast shows. We do Major League Baseball, we do football, ramping that up in the NFL. We do college football teams. I mean, there are so many things on this platform that you can find, not just myself, but a lot of other stuff as well. So guys, I appreciate you guys being with us today. Thank you all very much. We'll talk soon. And as we always say at the end of these podcasts, stay tuned so you can be locked on.